this week is Men's Health Week, so I wanted to jump in and chat to you about a topic that really interests me, which is men's mental health. And I think that I got to be really interested around this topic because I've got two young boys, and already playing in the space of mental health, it really started to intrigue me when I started to see the segregation occur between men and boys and girls. And the first encounter for me as a parent was when I went to drop off one of my children at kindergarten, and I overheard another mother saying to her son that he couldn't have a pink bag or lunchbox because that was a girl's colour. And I kind of freaked out a little bit internally because my son loves pink. In fact, he's had a bright pink lunchbox for years. And so just hearing that really sparked me up inside. The other thing is when my son that plays soccer, he came to me one day and he said to me, "Mum, can you please tell me why there is a girls' soccer team and a mixed soccer team, but there's no boys-only soccer team?" And this really sparked my interest because when coming from a 7, 8-year-old, I think he was at the time, it is coming from such a pure place of inquisitiveness. And I didn't have the answer for him. Yes, I know there's a certain stage in kids' sport where they need to be separated because, boys physically can be so much stronger. But when you're 7 and 8 and there's a girls' soccer team and a mixed soccer team, why isn't there a boys-only soccer team? Why don't the boys have a choice, but the girls do? And this is just one, small thing. Well, to me, it seemed small at the time, that escalates throughout our life and becomes a theme to a lot of boys and men out there. So it's really interesting now coaching boys and treating men that just how much the segregation, whether it's conscious or unconscious, has really affected them along the journey. A lot of men have been taught to not show their emotion, to suppress it, to not show that they feel sad, or, men and women, solve problems very differently. Well, women share and we voice our issues, and, we talk to our girlfriends around a lot of subjects, if not all subjects, where the men tend to go into their cave. They tend to go to this internal spot where they work out the problem for themselves. From a masculine energy perspective, the masculine energy is all about strategy. It's all about action. It's about doing. It's about achieving goals. So when we come from a wounded masculine place, we double basically that energy. So we are overachievers, overdrivers. So then we shut down even further. We feel that we are the only, when I say we, I'm talking from the masculine here, the men feel that they are the only person to solve their problem. So they will shut down until they feel that it is solved to their standards, and then they will come out of their cave and share their solution. So it's really important for us as women to understand how men work and to not think, well, they don't have a problem because they're not airing it. It's just they have never been taught how to air it. They've never been taught that it's okay and safe to air it. A lot of mothers, I want to say mothers, a lot of parents teach their boys to get on with things, to get up and move on. And I see this very much so in sport as well, that when they do get hurt, especially at that younger level, that it's basically, do you want to come off the field or do you want to stay on the field? to play. And of course they want to play. So they suck up their emotions. They suck up that hurt. And, that other boy pushed me and I don't feel that that's okay, but I've got to suck all that up if I want to continue playing the game. So, where we see a lot as therapists, a lot of men in this anger mode. Anger is purely a container that holds all the suppressed emotions that has happened over the years. Anger feels very safe for men to express. It is very socially acceptable for men to express. So allowing yourself to understand that and then giving yourself a safe space as a man to have a look and giving yourself permission as well to have a look what's underneath that anger, to have a look what needs to rise, to be felt into, to therefore transcend. And when we don't focus on the anger, but we focus on transcending the emotions that are suppressed underneath it, the byproduct of it is that we do release that anger automatically, and they are allowed to live a more aligned, truthful to themselves life that is more balanced. And it's about balancing the masculine and the feminine inside of them, because the feminine, which is about flow, which is about intuition, which is about emotion and feeling, a lot of men have been taught that that is the weak side, so therefore they will not show it and therefore suppress it. Hence the wounded masculine, which is the overdoer and the over strategizer and the strong and the competitiveness. That's the wounded masculine. So when we learn to embrace our feminine side, because we all have feminine, no matter whether we are a man or a woman, we all have both. And when they are balanced, we are able to use our internal guidance system to guide us on a healthy, aligned path in our life. And our internal guidance system is that emotional guidance. So we, as human beings, we are a spiritual being having a physical experience. And when we look at our spiritual self, we are pure unconditional love. So when we sit in a state of love and joy and allow ourselves to feel into that, we are able to guide ourselves into that aligned life, because we are guided from love, we are guided from joy. And when we experience and allow ourselves to experience this, we can then experience more of it. And we know when to say yes to things and no to other things, because when they don't feel right, when they don't align, they don't feel like joy, they don't feel like love, they feel very disconnected. And you could even feel that suppression coming on, you could even feel that anger and resentment falling in, and that's how you know that it's not right for you. A lot of men business owners that I work with will tell you that in business, some of the best decisions they have made is not from strategy, and it's not from an action-based place. But it's from a feeling that they've had in their gut. And even so, they know logically that it doesn't seem right. It doesn't think right, but in their gut it feels right, and they've gone and made that actionable against their gut. They will all tell you that it was the right decision to make. So it's really about balancing that masculine and feminine, that intuitiveness and that action, to really drive you forward. So I hope this has helped bring some awareness, and I think it's really important for the men out there to understand that how I emotionally feel and how I physically feel is in my body indicating to me the disconnection or the connection I have with myself. So when your body feels hurt, in pain, weak, that is your body telling you something. When I feel stressed, overwhelmed, an abundance amount of pressure and responsibility, that is your mentality telling you you're disconnected, and to really look at, how do I come back to self? So I hope that's helped you today. Please feel free to share with any other men in your life that you know that this will so deeply help.